Which of these are real names? Rogers Boys, A Nice Bottom, or Seymour Bust? The answer is all three of them.
Oh, that's right. Rogers Boys was born in Newport, Monmouthshire in 1848. A Nice Bottom was baptised in Dewsbury, Yorks in 1837, and Seymour Bust was born in Halstead, Essex in 1841. So I can hear Bart Simpson ringing in my ear. Seymour Butts. We're into the final part of this morning's Right Stuff with Mel Giedroyc, David Van Day and Larry Turner. We're asking, would you change a name that shames? Maybe you already have. 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. New research has found that some of the oldest surnames in British history, names that have been passed down from generation to generation for hundreds of years, are disappearing really fast. Why? Well, I think we can guess. It's because today's generation can't stop sniggering at them. Aside from our Education Secretary, who perhaps aspires to be the first ever Prime Minister Balls, you can see the headlines already, can't you? It seems the majority of people don't really want to be known by a name that has any kind of sexual connotation. Hence, the number of cocks christened in this country has fallen by more than 3/4 since the 1880s. Likewise, folks born with the surnames Smelly, Daft, Nutter and Bottom. The list is almost endless. Some of the names have long and cherished histories attached to them. Bottom meant your ancestors lived at the bottom of a valley. Daft meant you came from a meek, God-fearing clan. Smelly meant you had smiley ancestors up in Scotland. While cock meant one of your long-lost relatives used to strut around his local village. Cock, in fact, didn't develop any kind of sexual meaning until some 300 years ago, which is quite a long time for people with the surname Cock, I would think. So, if you were born a Dick, a Willy or a Crapper, did you change your name? What if you acquire an embarrassing name through marriage? I mean, would you marry a Mr. Whore, for example? Eric hit the streets to find out.
Would you change your surname if your name was Willy?
Probably not, no. If it's been in the family history for years and years and years, then I'd rather keep it, because it's part of the heritage.
Maybe, but I'll keep it similar. Maybe Wilson or something like that.
Would you change your surname if your name was Cock?
Probably, yes. To avoid embarrassment. I'd probably try and get married quicker.
Would you change your surname if your name was Bottom?
No, definitely not. Look.
Would you change your surname if your name was Smelly?
Yeah, I probably would, because I don't think I'd want smelly kids.
Would you change your surname if your name was Pratt?
Nah. I'll get a lot out of that, I think.
Yes, I would.
Why?
Because a Pratt is a Pratt.
And that's from our Eric, whose nickname at school was Eric Sean?
Eric Sean.
Yes. Takes a while to figure that one out.
No, we won't go into it, but I won't go into it.
Eric Sean, erection, erection.
I was thinking it was a rickshaw.
Yes, I thought that too. You see, we're so high above everybody else in this audience.
I wouldn't have got that.
No.
What does your surname actually mean, by the
Well,
way?
I was going to say funny names. You know, my surname is Lithuanian, Giedroyc, and I think it is Land of the Rising Sun or something like that. Quite cool. Okay. But I get called Goodrich, Guydroy, Gleedrock.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my name. I'd never change my
What if it
name.
did mean, or in actual fact was, whore, bottom?
Yeah, but only Lithuanians would laugh about it. So I think I'd be all right.
Yes.
There aren't that many Lithuanians.
Would you marry a Mr. Whore, a Mr. Shufflebottom?
If I loved him, yes, I would.
Would you?
Well, you see, no, I mean, I would find it funny to be called Mrs. Whore. I would. I'd get, you know, if there was a good gag, I'd go for it. But I might be weird and different from other people, I don't know.
And you've changed your name anyway, haven't you? From Dave Day to David Van Day.
Well, I added it, actually.
Burger Van Day.
Yeah, Burger Van. Well, that's
came later.
But it's a long story. I won't go into that. But if I was called Small Cock, I would definitely change it.
What about Big Cock?
Either big and's not bad.
Yeah, so that's a made-up one, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but I couldn't walk around and somebody say, Mr. Small Cock, can you come in?
Slow Cock, that's another one.
Slow Cock?
Yeah.
That could be...
the sad thing is they have been traditional names. I mean, people's laughing all the time, but, you know, they have been traditional names for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Were you not brought up with sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you? I mean, I just think that if the name that you were given your surname, it's something that I wouldn't be bothered at all being called all Cock.
Could you be bothered all the time?
You might not. What about you? What about your kids? Do you think they would want to go through
when
school?
When I was a kid, and it was before, you know, EU kids of all nationalities, and so my name Larry was quite unusual.
Yeah.
And and I was called Larry the Lamb at school because it was going back that far.
I was called
And then you know you dealt with it. I was
Smelly Melly, still am. You know, just deal with it. But what was I going to say?
I mean, I was brought up with the Johnny Cash song "A Boy Named Sue," and I think you know it strengthens you, it toughens you up.
I love the way people disguise embarrassing names. I love it when people call themselves Batoon.
And Willy becomes Wiley.
And Coke, you know, and I love all that. I think it's
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a shame. I think there's loads of richness to it.
Okay. Well, let's take some calls, then go to the audience. Who's on the line first, please?
All right, we're going to start with Lisa then on line 1.
Lisa, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Funny, embarrassing names. Then, what do you know about them, Lisa?
Well, the thing is, I was dating a chap for many, many years, and he proposed to me, and he said, "Will you change your name?" I said, "No, I was born with a name. I will die with a name, and I'm certainly not going to take yours."
What was his name?
Because his name was Paul Meacock.
Paul Meacock. You see,
and I said, "There's no way on this earth
what gets me?
I'm going to be Mrs. Paul Meacock."
I know, but this is what gets me. What gets me, right, Lisa, is his parents, right, Meacock, would have probably crossed their mind at some point that it's kind of, you know, it's a name that some people might find funny. And then they call him Paul. I mean...
Paul Meacock.
That's child abuse, Lisa. That is child abuse.
Yes.
Simple as that. Thank you for the call. What about our audience, Eric? Sean?
Okay. Well, next week's Anna. So, Anna, you had quite a funny maiden name, didn't you?
I did. It was Drain, as in pipe.
A
And when I
Drain.
got married and I changed the name, and when I got divorced, I kept the
married
name. Yeah.
To A Drain. You know, what was yours, Amy?
A-Train. Oh, A-Train.
His first name was Dwayne, and his second name was Pipe. Dwayne Pipe.
Dwayne Pipe.
Dwayne.
I feel like I want to do a Mr. and Mrs. and introduce her to A Drain.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Thank you for Dwayne Pipe.
It's not real.
I kind of admire the parents that do it,
So
don't
do
you?
I do.
Dwayne Pipe. This is brilliant. Let's have another, please,
Wait
Amy.
till you hear this one, then we've got David first, on line 2.
David, good morning.
Morning, Matthew.
Morning.
1982, Freshers Week owns Park Halls of Residence, University of Manchester. 7 guys move into a flat. One is a Welsh guy from Llangollen who's reading law, and his surname is Rea, R-H-E-A, same as the singer, Chris Rea.
Yeah.
We'll go all through first term. We're all sitting there at the Christmas vacation waiting to go home, and there's a knock at the door. And we've christened him Taff. That's all we know him as Taff. Knock at the door. Somebody gets up to answer, and there's a woman standing there. She says, "I've come to pick up my son." "Who's that?" "Diarrhea." that is the gospel truth. Matthew, I'll tell you something else.
That's a joke.
There was a certain girl who was also reading law then who knew him quite well. I'm not going to get into that, but Laurie might know what I'm talking about.
Right. Right, you've absolutely lost us there, David. Existential humour. We're not with you on that one. Does anyone, I just wonder if anybody watching today can confirm, is the "I was at school with Andrew and Peter Ness," is that apocryphal or is that true? Because my friend Ben, he swears he was at school, public school, with Andrew and Peter Ness, and when they did the register, it'll take a while, Mel, I can just see the A-Ness,
Anus.
P-Ness, A-Ness, P... Oh, okay.
Right, I'm there. I'm with
Is that
you.
apocryphal or not? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't believe it. David, thank you for that. Let's have another.
All right, we're going to go to George then on line 3.
George, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. Funny names then?
Yeah, a few years ago, I'd done some temporary work at a factory.
Yes.
And I had to report to the manager. His name was Head, and his first name was Dick.
It just defies belief.
Yeah,
Well,
Mr.
yeah,
Richard
that's what I
Head.
thought. You know, it was written on the timesheet, and it was Dick Head.
He must have, George, he must have been, he must have been proud of it, yeah.
And decided.
He must have, you know, dined out on it.
Can I just ask on a slightly serious note about women getting married and changing their name? No,
No, never. And I never.
You would never.
They both wanted nice. Absolutely. You could have my name if you like, but I'm not taking yours. No, because why should I? I am who I am. That is my. I always.
But that's what's so fascinating about this debate is you are who you are, and yet people will change their name.
Well, I think it's quite an old-fashioned thing to do, and I always thought it looked a bit desperate. Those women who get engaged and then start ordering the new notepaper. And I was thinking, get up the aisle first, love, you know. No, and then you have to change your passport. It's a pain in the neck. You get divorced and change it all over again.
Listen, I've got to draw a line on it. We're completely out of time. I have to say a huge thank you to this lady, Mel, for joining us this morning.
Lovely.
Best of luck with New Boy.
Thank you.
New Boy at the Trafalgar Studios. Larry and David will see you tomorrow. Last Right Stuff of the week. Our special guest, by the way, is the wonderful Dave Gorman, frankly genius. He's on the panel at our new time of 9:15, so do join us then. If you're at home tonight, don't miss The Mentalist, 5's brand new crime drama, absolutely wicked. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.